was a little bitter for them. So I think that they're going to flip it back and they'll return to their aggressive style. They did use Elise jungle twice yesterday, so we'll also have to keep an eye out for that one because that really fits their offensive style where they like to go. Almost everybody on their team is a threat, and they don't really have that one person to soak up a bunch of damage.
Well, we look at the picks and bans coming through here. GGU, they got 7 seconds left. What do you think the first ban is?
It's going to be Karthus here, maybe aimed at that Reginald because Reggie has been using Karthus to great effect in several of TSM's games, and they really put a high priority. Oh!
I'm sorry. Okay, Riven and Elise have been banned out by TSM. Now, GGU, what is their second ban going to be? It's Renekton, too late.
Oh, bad boys. Bad boys. That's what you get for breaking the rules. No first ban for them. You had me so caught up in the story, too. Oh, that was well played. Well played, Freak. All right, so they did ban out the Elise, though, so it's not going to be another jungle Elise here for Nintendo. He's going to have to try out something new.
Okay, so Shen, the first pick here from TSM. Dyrus, it's like channeling their hotshot now, man. He's in that split pusher tank.
And that they made that return to the global playstyle, like we said. TSM definitely embracing their Season 2, and it's really helped for them because that was when they were dominant, really. They were on a roll of however many tournaments they won in North America, almost all of them the whole season. And it's really good that they've returned to their roots because with the addition of Wild Turtle, he really complements that aggressive style that Reggie was known for.
On the other side, though, we have GGU playing a little bit more long-ranged right now. They're looking at Caitlyn. You're still laughing at
I
me.
can't believe you got me with that.
You delivered the line yourself. Nasus and Caitlyn picked up here for Good Game University.
The Nasus, there we go. That is the objective control. Now they will have that point man. He's all about being that tanky mid and late game presence in team fights. Reggie's going to lock in his Karthus. No surprise there. So that's 2 globals already for TSM.
You mentioned it being Season 2 style, and look at that. These are champions we have seen basically forever throughout the last year. So Sona and Karthus are locked in. It is now GGU's turn to pick up, and they've been playing. Speaking of kind of consistent style, they've been playing Caitlyn and Nasus a lot recently.
Yeah, they have. I mean, we've asked a couple of the junglers about the state of Nasus too, and I believe it was Crumbs. He was like, "Yeah, he's pretty much perfect for if you want the mid game." The late game, shutting down AD carries, and then objective controls. The only thing he's lacking is that early game skirmish and the early game ganks, which is the reason that Crumbs doesn't play Nasus because he really loves that aspect of junglers, and he puts a very high priority on that. A lot of APs being shifted through here, even hovering over that Master Yi for a while. That would be definitely a new pick for the LCS. Very exciting one. A lot of mid players like Alex Eeks, he'll stream a lot of AP Master Yi mid, but not too many people bring it out in the actual tournaments. And they are going to lock in the Jace plus Lux. Large poke from this team.
Exactly. That GGU lineup, I mean, all of them just so incredibly long range. And so now it's TSM's turn to figure out what they do against this. Once again, GGU can see the lineup on the right-hand side. TSM on blue. They've got to lock in their last few champions here. And Good Game University, they're only hiding a support at this point.
So what TSM could do right here is recognize that they're trying to poke and go with a hard initiate. This jungler Nocturne is pretty good with that because you can have Shen on top of him, and so the problem that some Nocturnes run into of being too squishy when they dive all the way in won't really be an issue. The other one that they could choose would be a Malphite, and then have Shen and Malphite sort of switch between jungle or top there, keep GGU guessing, but it looks like they're pretty much decided on having Odd One be that Nocturne, and they're content to have Dyrus again on that Shen up in the top lane. They've worked on their communication issues. They'll be calling the Shen ultimates on the specific person, and we'll see how they can execute it. This time, Varus being the AD that they're going to lock in.
TSM almost got a full Season 2 lineup. If that was Ezreal, if that was Ezreal, this is a year ago, a screenshot from a year ago of one of their champ selects. Instead, that is going to be Varus picked up, and Daydreamin' now is going to consider his support. We've seen him on a lot of crazy things so far. We've seen him on LeBlanc, Elise, a lot of crazy things.
So this is probably going to be a lock in here on Blitzcrank, I'm thinking, because Daydreamin' loves hooks, Thresh is banned, and the AD he could go up against if they do 2 versus 2 lane is going to be Varus with no personal escapes. So that would tough break.
It's okay. So
Janna,
Jono,
which is a crucial part of poke comp. So he's going more team oriented there. His reflex was, yes, Blitzcrank. I want to get that Varus, but for the team, I'll go Janna. We'll give that movement speed. I'll have the extra reset for our poke comp that stops the disengage from Nocturne. And that's going to be very helpful for them. So we'll have to see how well this poke versus split push team fights come out.
So how do you think GGU deals with that split push then? Do they just say, screw it, go down mid lane, or
they
heads up?
5-man down a lane, they siege up, they poke down that turret, and they play chicken. Who's going to come back first? If TSM are the ones to buckle, it will be Odd One ulting in, Shen ulting from a side lane that he's pushing straight on the Odd One, and they try and land a hard engage. It's up to Janna really then to try and get that disengage off, and then alright, we get into Summoner's Rift here. Let's see, GGU versus TSM.
So we can see TSM on the blue side, the bottom left corner, leaving out of their base. Odd One pops the Q down to get some extra move speed. Good choice there. GGU spawning in the top right in red, and they're going to make their ways through the base. And kind of both sides are splitting up right now.
Only a single red elixir bought this game. That might be a record here since they've really just exploded across all teams. Everybody's spreading out though, so it is going to be one of the more safe starts that we've seen. There haven't been a lot of recent level 1 fights.
There really haven't been. We saw a fair number in like week 7 and 8. We had a week where there was like 16 kills in the first 2 minutes, like across each game, like some ludicrously high number. But here, yeah, you've got a couple of defensive wards, and guys are kind of waiting on their side of the map.
So it is going to be GGU opting for the normal 2 vs 2 and 1 vs 1 top there. They want to send Jace against Dyrus. They feel like Zion's going to have the upper hand in that lane. Plus, he'll be able to interrupt Dyrus when he does hit that level 6. Nobody has gone with a summoner teleport though. So it looks like GGU, they've taken that the thing I was talking about where they're just going to play chicken in the late game. They don't want to try and play TSM split pushing game. They're just going to group up in one lane and try and shove it down and force TSM to come to them.
It'll be interesting to see that game of chicken though. I remember TSM versus Marn when they got like 1 or 2 inhibs down against Marn and played chicken at sort of Baron and forced Marn to lose their own base. We'll see if TSM can kind of keep that going and get themselves well fed in this one. Xpecial and Wild Turtle taking the double goals for themselves. Reginald helping with Dyrus as they take down the Wolves, and Dyrus actually being given full XP on this Wolf camp. Zion Spartan takes away the Wolves on his side. So these teams really sharing a lot of early jungle experience.
Yeah, it's pretty common nowadays. A lot of teams will just start on all 3 of the small jungle camps, having their mid laner and their top laner solo one, AD and support to another, while the jungler starts one. So that you really don't want to let anything on the map go to waste for your start, because the tiniest edge in the early game can mean everything. That one creep that gets you to level 2 can just snowball your entire lane. And we have to keep in mind now that one of the most important things for a poke team comp like GGU are running are early game towers. If they're able to grab this early top tower with this Caitlyn and Janna lane, which they very well should be able to do pretty quickly, and get this switch before their bottom one falls, that would be a huge win for GGU.
Well, we'll see if they can do that. Nocturne has just finished up the blue buff. Reginald actually running to the left as well. That might just be for a ward, but Janna and Kate are putting some damage down. Dyrus is defending at his own turret. And Dyrus, he actually did learn Shadow Dash at level 2, so he'll be trying to look for some kind of turret pressure.
Yeah,
mid though.
He tried to pull off a full range taunt there onto Janna. Just barely out of range of the turret though, so he wasn't rewarded with any turret shots. But it looks like Odd One already gonna make his way up there. Probably just go clear a lane or so. Shen is actually really good at setting up kills in the 1 vs 2 lanes because of that long range of taunt, but they're just gonna clear out a wave.
Well, GGU did spot Nocturne with a ward, I think. Never mind. Only if you went through the river did they spot him. I don't remember that right now. But they have sent Nintendo to the right-hand side. Then he recalled back. So right now, TSM are actually freezing this bottom lane. You can look at where Xpecial and Wild Turtle are standing and compare that to Zion Spartan. Zion Spartan is nowhere near the minions that are falling over.
Yeah, he just wants to barely get in that range of experience. Doesn't want to take any free damage here. As we see Nasus come down, he's going to support as well. So really both junglers just being lane partners right now, trying to keep up the turrets. Like I said, it's so important. The first turret, when you're going against a poke comp, could make or break the entire mid game here. And the top turret already down to half, whereas bottom here for GGU, fully healthy.
Hasn't even taken a scratch. I hear them yell, go, go, go. They jump in on special. The slow is there. Can they have enough damage? They knock him back with the Ignite on. He puts the Q out, and that is first blood picked up for Nintendo. Now Wild Turtle caught. Kind of alone right there. Can they get enough damage onto him? The Wither comes across. Nintendo runs back. Cleanses pop. Zion Spartan gets it with the EQ. 2 kills picked up for GGU to start off the day.
Okay, so towers early game are important, but double kills for your solo laner equally as important right there. Very, very nice job there by Zion and Nintendo. The importance of Ghost versus Flash right there. Ghost is amazing at lane ganks. That is the biggest difference. That and the shorter cooldown of it mean that he can now even put pressure on this bottom one. Oh my god, he has Flash.
You are not on today,
I'm
good
really
sir.
not on today.
Their first ban, but no. Okay, so Zion Spartan and Nintendo have cleared out this bottom lane. The Cannon Minion taking some of that up for themselves. They're down to half, so suddenly the 1v2 lane, by the way, actually winning for GGU. We don't see that all that often, honestly.
Well, a double kill will definitely do that for you. Since it's been both junglers in the lane, it's more like 2v2 lanes for pretty much both of these. It looks like TSM tried to get a little aggressive there, but not even going to stay in for the Fear Tether, and they just want to keep this turret alive as long as they can.
They did force the cleanse out of Don't Mash Me, though. Dyrus did land the taunt, forced him to run away from that one, and of course they disengaged, but they're still sneaking up right here. You can see them running through the brush. Mash Me and Daydream know about this, though. But Ogman has successfully pushed the lane up with his teammate. And look at that, they are actually now zoning out the dual lane here of GGU. I think it's 5-5 versus 4-4. The TSM here have a level advantage.
Odd1 has not gone back into the jungle to clear any of the small camps since his first rotation through. Great tornado there. Good disengage from Daydreamin'. That's how you use a Howling Gale. You can do that against a lot of opponents, actually. It works great against Alistar lanes as well when they come in for the headbutt. You just have to have quick reaction speed.
Well, apparently Daydreamin' does have that right here, so the man seems to be more awake than Daydreaming right now, because those reactions are there. Jinte in the mid lane has hit level 6, has the final spark. Nintendo runs up to the top, though, has not been seen by a ward while he does this. He's going to help his team push on out right now. No one losing too many health bars just yet. You see the minions falling over, the Howling Gale coming across. This one, maybe less reactive, more just push-based. But here we can see Ogman does land the taunt there. They put some damage on him. Matthew down below half health. The turret's going to hit him as well. The Q comes across. No, the shield keeps him alive. And now it's Nintendo trying to put some damage back onto the odd one. TSM forced to back away, but of course so did Mash Me.
That's why Shen is such a good champion in the 2v1s, because he can make you take tower hits if you get close enough. It looks like that's going to save the turret for now. Odd1 finally going to recall. He's level 6 before he goes back to kill any jungle minions.
Of course, the Spirit Stone had already been picked up for Nintendo X, so the item advantage right now in GGU's favor, and then it changes as Odd1 picks stuff up. Zion Spartan back in this lane, 36 minions on him. I want to point out these 1v2 lanes because we haven't talked about them in minions so much. 37 versus 25, an advantage for Zion Spartan. The AD carry is very similar.
You also have to remember that Zion did start with that red elixir, so that's 250 gold right off the bat that he used to enable him to pick up those kills. The extra damage definitely coming through there, and a very worthwhile buy.
Seems to be working out, though, and you can see still the gold lead, 1,300, holding strong right now for Good Game University. And they 3-man the top lane again. Dyrus has not been back to buy. He is level 6, though. This top turret taking a bunch of pain, and Dyrus going to back off from that one. Actually recalls all the way back to base. GGU will find their first turret of the game right here, 7 minutes and 50 seconds in. Shot Glass hits it special. GGU still in control here.
They knock over the first domino. Now you want to see Don't Mash Me and Daydreamin' make their way to another lane and continue to take down turrets. Once they get down all the outer turrets, they can start forcing the rest of the objectives here. Dyrus is level 6 now, though, so he can hold that top lane while the pressure from GGU is in that middle.
Well, you can see them pushing down this mid lane, taking a little bit of damage onto that turret. Blue buff, of course, was just grabbed by Reginald. Saw that on your screen. Turret now down to half health right now. Nice damage here from Good Game University. They're going to find another minion wave as well. They're going to keep on moving forward. They've got 4 members here. It's Jace actually recalling back to the base. Not the one helping this push, but keeping his bottom turret alive. And now Wild Turtle and Xpecial have been sent up from, well, just Xpecial, I should say, has been sent up from the bottom.
So the game of chicken may start a lot earlier than we expected here. Dyrus has his ulti. Odd1 is ready to engage. They actually missed their catch here on Xpecial, so that's not going to come through. But they have TSM has all of their weapons ready. Everybody's got their ultimates from level 6. They have summoners available. So it's really going to be next time GGU sieges up, will we see TSM pull the trigger and go for that hard engage, because the next team fight winner will be rewarded with Dragon as well.
That is going to be a pretty important thing to pick up. We'll see if these teams can make that fight happen in their favor. 1,400 gold right now puts GGU in the lead, and they're grouping back up towards the mid lane. Once again, 4 strong here as Wild Turtle fights heads up against Zion Spartan's Jace. Shen still in the top lane. That is Dyrus split pushing. But, you know, he's kind of a minion farm to his opposing top laner. And here comes the Nocturnal. They're going to go in onto Don't Mash Me. Can he get away from this one? The Shen comes by as well. They're going to have a 5-on-4. Can they do the damage? Daydream trying to run away. The taunt again. Mash Me's going to fall down. Final Spark doesn't find any kills either. 1-for-0 in the battle. And Teddy running back. Gente running back. The shield is across as well. The ult comes across. Does not find any kills from Requiem, but TSM definitely did win that battle.
So that was not exactly the game of chicken that GGU were looking for. The synergy between a poke comp is the most important thing. You have to have all 5 of your members there. If you don't have acceleration gate from Jace, you can see the delayed engage from TSM right there was successful. If the extra speed boost was there for GGU and the knockback from Zion, then they might have been able to get out for that. But a huge win for TSM. They do get that dragon on top of it that I was talking about, but GGU want to answer for the mid turret and they might get pinched.
They get a little bit of damage, but they are afraid, in fact, of that from GGU, or sorry, from TSM, I should say. But they are still holding people up in this lane. It's now actually a split happening once again for Gugum University. They are keeping Zion Spartan down there, farming up, and over the top is Don't Mash Me, being given a lot of uncontested minion kills here. And he's going to try to get his gold income up.
He's missing all of them,
He missed literally all of them there.
The globals from TSM were both burned in that fight, though. So they got the gold back to even, but they used some very, very long cooldowns. The only thing is, they've still got that combo of the CC ultis from Varus and Sona that are going to make their team fight very, very strong.
Okay, and we'll see how that team fight ends up panning out as we move on to the next one. Of course, with Dragon dead, there's not a lot for these guys to contest unless they go for turrets. Don't Mash Me, again, alone in the top lane. He doesn't have a turret to fight, actually. He's going to back off right here.
Now is the time when GGU have to not abandon their game plan. They need to group back up. They've got blue buff on Gente. This is exactly what they want. They can poke at the turrets and siege right back up. The globals from TSM are down, so there won't be a threat of Dyrus split pushing while they're doing this. They won't be under that time crunch while they're trying to siege up middle would probably be the ideal target here. And it looks like Zion's going to return to the bottom lane, so if they do, then it would be a 4-man siege.
Okay, so let's see if that ends up being what happens here. We can see Zion Spartan 1v1 up against Dyrus. As you say, that ulti is down. Mash Me grabbing his red buff for himself. We can see as we crest into mid-game, really no major advantages anymore on either side, despite GGU having a kill and a turret on their side. That Dragon from TSM definitely helped them out.
Yeah, and TSM, they're continuing to put pressure all over the map so that GGU can't group up and pull off their poke comp. Don't Mash Me and Daydream had to go top here. They don't want to let these minions go to waste, and now it's just basically the support and AD lane that we're so used to seeing.
And Zion Spartan in that lane just takes a bunch of pain from Dyrus. A nice taunt under the turret, gets some pain right there. Mash Me and Daydream running back. Here comes Nintendo, though. They get the Wither onto Dyrus. They're going to bring down the turret. Now, will they keep moving forward? Misses the Shock Blast. I don't know if that's going to be enough for Zion Spartan. Huey's in melee form and walks right back out. Of course, Nocturne is waiting in the wings. The Odd One's not going to find someone to kill.
So the only turret left up on the outside ring for TSM right now is that middle one. Don't Mash Me getting dove.
And look at the burst combo that's available there. Daydream trying to heal himself to keep him alive, but it might not be enough. Flash from Wild Turtle. The shield's not going to be enough. Xpecial secures that kill for TSM. 2-for-0 right there, and this top turret could be theirs also.
We talked about keeping track of cooldowns of ultimates yesterday and it being so important, and the Koreans and Chinese putting a lot of emphasis on that. Against a team like TSM has, that just becomes even more important. Karthus, Shen, and Nocturne can come from anywhere, and if you don't know when those are available, then they'll just surprise you like that. Go for a tower dive, get some kills, and a free tower to answer. TSM looking really good in this one.
They are looking pretty good right now. The early game just went so well to GGU, but aside from that double kill bottom lane, that's the only thing they've really found for themselves as far as kills are concerned. 13:35 into the game. Zion Spartan still trying to get that split push farm up. He's got a decent clip here, but you're just looking at how much gold TSM are earning. And look at, Reginald 124, Wild Turtle 131. Looking really good for a lot of all-stars there.
Yeah, TSM really at home with all these two. We said these are the main tools that they used in Season 2, and they're very, very practiced with them. So they know exactly how they're going to execute. GG now finally grouping up with their 5-man. Dyrus is split pushing bottom. This is that end game of chicken.
Let's see if they can do that. TSM holding on right now. 4v5. Shock Blast comes out, doesn't find anything. Acceleration gate still down. That's going to dissipate. Traps starting to come down from Don't Mash Me. GG moving off to the side. They're actually going for the blue buff here, Zion Spartan.
Blue buff is so important for this GGU team. They actually would rather have two of them. Wild Turtle! Click on how much is that?
Like 50.
It was below 50 before he started that. That was 40. I'm gonna say 3.
There's 3.
43.
43 health indeed. So very, very low. Nearly killed Wild Turtle, and that actually allowed them to push down and take that turret. Zion Spartan actually looks to be aggressive here onto Dyrus. Goes through the acceleration gate and says, you know what, never mind, you're cool. You know, I just won't go for you after all.
So the power of the poke right there, you can see how explosive these fights are going to be. As soon as one spell lands, all the rest are going to come out chain on top of that person. It was really well executed by GGU, and Wild Turtle was lucky he had his cleanse up, because that was going to be his life.
Well, thankfully, he did not go down for TSM fans out there, but GGU had retied the gold lead with this. 3-1 in turrets, 3-2 in kills in TSM's favor. And again, TSM up 1-0 in Dragons. And speaking of Dragons, it is coming up in just 50 seconds.
So that will probably definitely
yes.
be a point of contention. I wanted to point out Wild Turtle's adaptation, though. Usually he's one to go with Infinity Edge. He almost gets Infinity Edge on every single champion, but because this is such a high action early and mid game, he's gone with the Bloodthirster to power spike early, because he knows that GGU running this poke comp are going to be grouping up very early and trying to force these objectives. Odd one creeping down the river here. He has his ultimate up, but nobody else is in position, so Zion will be okay. They definitely don't want to lose that blue buff on Zion Spartan. That's very important for their entire game plan. And even the blue of TSM should be receiving quite a lot of attention from GGU, because if at any point they're able to get 2 blue buffs, they will be able to get whatever objective they want.
We'll see if they can do that. Of course, there are some wards on the left-hand side jungle. You can see those red blips on your mini-map. And of course, now GGU has taken control of the dragon, though. And that is TSM kind of lurking around the side, so they might try to fight for this fight.
Yeah, Nintendo has his ultimate, but there we go. The Nocturne comes in.
They push back Reginald for a good long time. He's not ready to the fight just yet. Zion Spartan and Nintendo trying to run away now. A beautiful taunt from Dyrus. The crescendo following up on top of that one. Can they get enough damage? Mash me. Zion Spartan trying to run away. A nice final spark finds 2. No kills have happened just yet. Jinte still putting shields down. Running back through the acceleration gate. That does help them kite backwards. Now Daydreaming. Can he dodge lay waste? It's not going to look too good for him. Auto attack comes out. He's still alive against Reginald. And Reggie, does he have the ulti? He does. Daydreaming, will the shield be up? He's trying to go for it. He's not going to survive. Reggie picks up that kill unassisted. And now TSM are trying to control the dragon, but they're on top of a ward.
Oh, the rest of the team trying to finish off this dragon. Caitlyn's snipe does come in, but it looks like GGU not going to go for it. TSM rewarded with that one. Reggie was soloing with Daydreaming that entire time, by the way, up on the side of that fight. And they barely won that engage, and it's only because the weakness of poke comps are when you're not around a turret. They love sieging up against turrets. The open objectives like Dragon and Baron are really the weak spots for these teams. Even so, they did a great job of trying to disengage.
Absolutely, but still a great pickup by TSM. Good fight to start. Shockless comes by again. And Zion Spartan wants to keep this turret alive, but TSM, they just picked up a 1-for-0. They picked up an unanswered dragon as well. That is their second on the map, I believe. TSM might be the first team to not get upset here in the last day of the season.
They might not, but all their ultimates are on cooldown right now. So if there was a time for GGU to strike and try and get one of the secondary turrets, this would be a good point for that, because the dragon's not up, the buffs on the map are not up. The only really points right now to go after are turrets.
Let's see if they can get any of these. Let's look around the map and see what these guys are going for. Actually, so which turret would they push for if they wanted to push something down?
The middles are always the most important, because you get control of both sides of the map, and like I said, the blue buff is so important for this GGU team. So they would either choose top or middle. They would probably not go for that bottom one, because there's not a lot on that side of the map that they even really care much about.
Okay. Now we can see that GGU have in fact grouped towards the mid lane, so seems to be an astute observation on this side as Wild Turtle comes by, and now they're running towards the top half. So there's the 2 they're looking at. They're pinging around by the dragon. Oh, they see Reginald Light Binding is not quite landing. Golem, I meant, right there, by the way. And blue buff has spawned up. Dyrus is there. The ward down for TSM as well. What will GGU do about this? They've now got a 4-on-5. They do not have Don't Mash Me quite yet in the fight.
They should go for this, because they have another 30 seconds of no ultimate here from the Dyrus, and Reggie's is down 2, but they don't know that because it's not well timed, and they aren't going to stick their necks out. Blue buff for Reggie. That's huge.
Actually, Sorry, I thought I saw someone last hit it. Reggie.
Wow, Reggie didn't get it.
Reggie is not wearing it. It's Wild Turtle who last hit that, actually. So
that's a whoops-a-daisy.
You have that on the AD carry. Reggie actually fairly low on mana if they fight right here. Could be risky. Nice Shock Blast comes across there from Zion Spartan. Already finished a Muramana with cooldown boots as well.
Yes, that is the poke build for Jace right there. If he also would finish that longsword into a brutalizer, then that's really the key structure that he needs. He's already got his tier fully stacked, like you can see right there, doing the work early. So that's going to relieve some of the mana issues that he's going to have. Meanwhile, we've got another tier on Jinte that's just started, so it's a little bit weaker.
Okay, so we'll see how these end up panning out with their builds. Wild Turtle in the mid lane, gonna be wave clearing. Actually does a pretty good job of that. I want to check. He has actually maxed his Q first. Something I bring out every once in a while. A lot of guys tend to max Halo of Arrows, and he went for Piercing Arrow. Again, you talked about the adaptation of Wild Turtle, the item build. He's gone for a skill build. It's a little bit different here as well, dealing with all the waves of minions. So Wild Turtle seems to be doing a very, very good job there. GGU starts putting ward coverage near the left-hand side of the river. Is that Baron, or are they just trying to control the river right here?
Well, the map control is really important, but it is definitely focusing on Baron. Nobody wants to burn it down, but the threat from TSM with all their globals means that any sort of mispositioning right here will cause a huge... It looks like GGU actually just going to go straight back down middle here. They want to keep up that pressure. Dyrus still up top. His Stand United is ready, so we'll have to see if TSM want to pull the trigger again.
See if they do this. Nintendo in the front. The Piercing Arrow comes across, landing some damage from Wild Turtle. Nintendo forced to run away. The Wall of Pain putting out a lot of pressure. There's the ult comes across. Nintendo's not in a good place. The ult comes in from Daydream, and Nintendo almost survives that fight, but Daydream's going to go down as well. And Reginald's going to keep moving on forward. Can they find Don't Mash Me? Can they find a third kill in this fight? Acceleration Gate getting Zion Spartan out of the battle. It looks like TSM will more or less back off and look for buildings this time.
You can see that a poke comp is not the easiest comp to pull off. You have to be very well coordinated. Now Reggie gets another catch, forcing the flash from Zion pretty much for free right there.
And there is TSM with the flash down from Zion. Only Mash Me really here to defend. We're looking for a turret.
They're going to get that turret too. Don't Mash Me. Can't go any closer. Laser tries to clear, but it's already down. TSM answering back. Dyrus did not have to use his Stand United, by the way, for that catch. That was just the four members doing a good job. And his Shock Blast actually doesn't make him stop recalling either. Small win for him.
Just whiffed that one, unfortunately, there for Zion Spartan. Odd1 taking away. Oh no, Reginald and Odd1 sharing the race. So nice of them. Sharing is caring after all on TSM and most things in the world. Wild Turtle split pushing on the bottom. 208 minions on him. First place in the game. 2-1-2 as well. He's had a really big impact this game so far.
Yeah, and Nintendo has to be careful because he is one of the least mobile champions on this GGU team. So they have to move as a unit, really. Make use of that acceleration gate for the disengage, and hope that Jen is nearby next time. So if someone does get caught out, they have to kite as one and damage whoever's the first one. And like we saw, there was not much threat there deterring Reggie from following it up, and they were just able to chain on that ulti from Wild Turtle to pick up the kill. It does whip this time though.
Does Light Binding, comes across, doesn't quite land either right here. Reginald finds a bit of poke in the intended, so does Zion Spartan onto Special. Acceleration Gate, they're going to back off from that one right now. Mash Me going to last hit some minions in the mid lane. Dyrus still shoving up the top though, and no one is responding to him. It looks like it's going to be Zion Spartan finally making his way across the map, but it's going to be on top of his turret when he gets there.
Yeah, Zion responding. He calls chicken first, goes up there to try and stop Dyrus, gets a little bit of harass on, and misses the taunt.
So Zion going to pick up a bit of farm for himself, but you can see 138 to 157. Dyrus seems to be getting the better deal right here as TSM moves down onto the Dragon. Going to be another one that is just not contested. 3-0 on Dragons for Team Solar Mid.
So great global control out there for TSM. The only thing is Dyrus has to be careful, and he has to continue to purchase these wards. You can see he pushed one in that tri-bush just now, but if he pushes past that area, you open yourself up to that vulnerable position where if you do get caught, the rest of TSM doesn't have the ability to jump to you. That's only Stand United on Dyrus.
Okay, so Dyrus still chilling up in the top half of the map. The ultimates half available here for TSM. They don't have Wild Turtles, but I guess they do have everything else. A minion has destroyed a red turret. That bottom lane is still working well for TSM. Now 3-3 in turrets and a 6,000 gold lead. This does still seem to be them controlling this game.
It seems like TSM actually have gained the upper hand here. They've got the global presence. Dyrus still not having to use his Stand United. He just has the threat of it. He hasn't even had to pop that one off recently. So they still have that option, and they could just continue to do as they have. Protect their blue buff next is going to be the biggest point of contention here. They want to actually try and get that one onto Reggie this time because that actually opens up the threat of TSM pulling off a Baron. Blue buff on Karthus is one of the highest damage sources for single target, and it actually opens up them for having a two-man Baron even.
And that could be a very, very scary thing for Giga University because right now they don't seem to have much vision over that Baron area. We've seen a lot of these old school American teams are very good at those Baron sneaks, definitely in TSM's repertoire. And GGU, they're still looking at that poke game, it seems, kind of pushing their heads forward to that mid lane. They're not finding any success yet. What does GGU need to do to start making headway here?
You can see that TSM have switched their focus. They're prepping for that Baron control that they just got with Reggie on a blue buff by Dyrus moving from the top lane down to the bottom lane here now. So he's farthest away from Baron. So if he does draw Zion Spartan away, then he can run into the bushes, try and get out of range for Zion's knockback, and then TSM can force GGU into a bad spot around Baron. So all they're going to have to do now is the last piece that would be in that puzzle would be an Oracles, and they do have it on X Special. He's got an Oracles in his inventory, just pops it now. They can clear out the wards.
And speaking of clearing things out, this blue buff getting cleared his way as well. Wild Turtle will last hit that. Again, he takes a blue buff, but that would have been stolen away by Jinte otherwise, so good adaptation there. Wild Turtle definitely doing amazing this game. GGU, they just can't seem to find anything to do this game.
It's really hard for them because of the blue buff denial right there. Now is when TSM are going to put on the pressure. There it is. They all go to the Baron area. Exactly. They have Tyrus split pushing bottom. Oracle's going to clear out all these wards. And it's going to be up to GGU. How much money will they spend on wards to put over the back of Baron Pit? Over the back of Baron Pit constantly to make sure that TSM are not trying to do that one early.
Well, right now it's 0. Of course, the Ruby Sightstone is there for Daydreamin', and I haven't seen him spend any 75 gold wards on that just yet. But TSM, they're lurking around. They're actually going to find Nintendo X. The fear is going to be there. He flashes the wall, so he will get out. But that is a flash down for a pretty basic cooldown from the Odd One. X Special will continue to sweep out wards in GGU's jungle.
Zion Spartan is also in trouble in that bottom lane. He had to run towards TSM's base because he tried to fight Dyrus, and Dyrus basically just shoved him off. Now he is in no position to get back. He has to recall, and TSM has free time to push on these turrets.
You do see it take a bit of damage there. The shield comes off from Daydreamin'. It gets down to about half health. Now Reginald is in mid, and he knows no one's quite around him yet as X Special sweeps out wards and puts up one of his own. Mashme again just being sent to clean up stuff over and over and over again. But you compare the AD carries and it's 268 to 222, and this top turret's going to go down.
Textbook global comp play here from TSM. They've got the Shen powerful enough to split push and solo the other top laner, so they really don't have any worries right now. All they have to do is continue to keep the Oracles up, keep the vision up in this red side jungle. You see how deep they've warded, and now Nintendo might be caught out in a bad spot again. He doesn't have flash this time.
There's a wall of pain. There's a Nocturne ult as well. Jinte not in a good place. Has been exhausted. The fear as well. He's going to go down. Oddman finds that kill. Nintendo forced to run away. Does not quite land the Varus ult, but they're still running back. Crescendo lands onto 3. Cleanse from Mashme. Nintendo goes down. Mashme getting hit by Reginald right here. He's trying to put damage out. He actually finds a kill. Nice play, but it's a 3 for 1 so far. TSM still in control. Ult comes off. Does not quite find Daydreamin', and only Zion Spartan and Daydreamin' left alive for GGU.
Reggie might have some words for Dyrus after that, because he did go down. Dyrus didn't pull off his Stand United, but it doesn't really matter. That was a great trade for TSM. They definitely came out of that one ahead. Karthus, he's used to dying. It's not a big deal. They're actually going to even rush the Baron off of this one, so that will be a huge win for them. And the next push that they do could very well be that bottom lane all the way through to an inhibitor.
Definitely a possibility here. TSM, of course, with complete control over Baron, going to get that one very happily. It's going to be theirs with no contestation at all. Now, whether they wait for Reginald, they will not. They could have waited 4 seconds, but I guess it does risk a steal. But they won't go for that. Zion Spartan, though, all alone, could use another 299 Spartans really in this game because they seem to not do so great so far. GGU trying to push out something.
It's actually a good point. Not waiting on Baron so they don't get it stolen The other bonus of a poke comp is that you have that long range, that you always have threat of stealing it with a Lux combo, along with a Nasus in there, since he does have his ulti, or he does have a he would have his ulti if that was ready.
Yeah,
it would be at his disposal.
Okay, so let's take a look. Right, we've seen games so far go late game and have super farmed AD carries with like ludicrously great item builds. This game has been TSM almost the entire time. What's GG got to do to get themselves to this late game status so they can turn the game around?
Right now, they don't really have a choice anymore. They have to turtle. There's nothing on the map worth going outside of your turrets for, so they're going to have to stand behind it and hope that the dive from TSM just goes in their favor.
Okay.
They can't even venture out to get blue buffs though, so the early tiers from the Lux and the Jace are going to be all important right here. They're just going to have to hope that they get an early catch. If they can light binding Reggie away from their team and then burst him down 100% before he's able to get into the center of them and get off all of his AoE, then that would be a huge step in the right direction for them. They just have to worry about this Nocturne diving right into the back lines with a Shen on top of him.
That is going to be a scary combination here for Game University. They've got the gate down, and they're just wave clearing over and over again, trying to keep their base in decent standing. So far, minions are not flooding their win, but you're seeing Dyrus and Reginald both split push. Why even send Reggie to split push here?
Because it's sort of that Dignitas mentality where we're so strong, we're just going to shove all 3 lanes right now. We're not scared of an engage from a poke comp. I mean, they've got great disengage here for GGU, but unless they land that light binding, it's going to be hard for them to catch somebody out. And you can see right there how Dyrus just flexing on Zion Spartans. Odd one's going to follow it up.
And Nocturne is there. There's a Card's ult as well. There's a shield's going to come across. It's going to be an upper Requiem. A piercing arrow helped that one from Wild Turtle. The Odd one just walks right back out, just strolls by saying, great, thanks for the gold. And now time for a turret as Wild Turtle grabs his 3rd blue of the game. And TSM will grab their 5th turret.
Odd one there, tanking the turret, couldn't do anything to get it off him, so Dyrus just walking right behind him for a while, give him a little massage, tell him it's gonna be okay, man, you're gonna get out of this one just fine. Now they're gonna shove in on the inhibitor turret as well. Reggie's still up top, like you said, split pushing on Karthus, already burned his ultimate. TSM's just gonna burn this one down.
There's a little bit of damage onto the oven of Wild Turtle, but they seem to not care too much about that. Just, hey, nice, the sun is a little bit warm from you, Lux, right there. Light binding comes off onto the Odd one. Bit of pain right there. Still, actually, the ult comes off. Oh, Mashby's not in a great place. Daydreamin actually rooted in there as well. The inhibitor is going to fall as Reginald makes his way down through the mid lane. Dyrus takes some damage, but even still, GGU just cannot find almost anything. And let's see where TSM goes next.
Yeah, both Dyrus and Odd One building full tank right here. And with the Sona heals and regen from Baron backing up, they tank so much. Reggie actually almost getting caught out right there. And Dyrus walking through the backside.
Just look how tanky he is. He's just taking like damage and he basically laughs it off right there. Puts on a shield and says, great, you did 1/3 of my health from your full team. That's nice. I'll walk by your turret some more. Reginald was forced out. That looks like TSM will back off of this one. There's only 20 seconds left on Baron. Zion Spartan actually is trying to get a little bit feisty here, but doesn't find anything to hit.
Yeah, it was well-timed aggression from TSM right there. Their Baron buff about to run out. Only a few more seconds on that one, and they've retreated to a very safe position. Everyone healing up and purchasing. Reggie now going to come back. He also got home guard boots on top of his, what is that, 586 ability power Karthus now.
Pretty good. It's a pretty high number. I think he's in reasonably good shape there. Has you know, some damage, I suppose. TSM, though, are just pushing their way on through the mid. And look at that, Dyrus face tanking a turret. Says, champions aren't enough for me. I want a real challenge. Turrets aren't enough for me either. All right, what am I going to have to solo next?
Another turret.
Yes.
We'll use this one as well. Take that one. It looks like they are going to go for the dive, and Reggie flashing in.
He flashes on and gets knocked back by Zion Spartan, though. Jinte puts down the light binding, lasers onto the Reginald. Does a lot of damage there. There's the shuttle. They get the communication, but Reggie's still going to burn down. Now can Jinte get to safety in time? He's in the fountain, puts the shield down. He survives it with like 12 health. The fountain barely keeping him alive. Zion Spartan feared, forced to run back as well. GGU have a potential 5-on-4. Can they keep their base from falling over?
A little bit too aggro there by Reggie, because nobody on GGU did go down. You're right, he survived with a double-digit health right there, and they didn't get another turret. There was no big main objective taken. It was just a little aggressive dive that turned Learned wrong.
I'm wondering if they were like missing out on the Odd One's ulti as well. Like, he has it up now. I don't know if it was up at the time of the fight necessarily, because he did use it to dive Zion Spartan earlier. But that said, I don't know if that was part of the equation that Reginald had thought was involved in that battle. But now Dragon and Baron are spawning in about 1.5 minutes each. It's going to be on the map soon. With the bottom inhibitor dead, can GGU even challenge?
I mean, TSM did get a little antsy there, so that gave GGU a little bit of hope. You know, that could very well happen again if they can keep Reginald on tilt. Hope that they do some more dives here from TSM without giving up an objective like that. Then it would be great for GGU, and they can always hope for that Baron steal. Like we said, Lux, the perfect champion. Just the ability combos that she has are so long range, and they give vision of health of Baron. So if he's able to pull off a Link steal, then it would be perfect for them. Don't match me very close, just playing Dyrus right there, taunting him so close to landing that.
Ironic that he's the one trying to taunt Shen. Agba now comes in onto Match Me, gets the Fear right there. Actually jukes to Crescendo with the Fear, but still goes down. Wild Turtle finds one. Nintendo now forced to run away. Final Spark comes across, hitting across 4 members of TSM, but they are still ready to dive in onto this one. 30 seconds on Baron or Dragon, and they don't care. They want to go for the turret right here. A lot of punishment coming out from them. Jinte forced to run away through the acceleration gate. He's going to be alive for now, but TSM are bringing down this turret brick by brick. It has fallen over. 8 turrets down overall for TSM, and now the inhibitor is the focus. Some damage comes in from GGU. They're putting a little bit of pain down. TSM are not to be pushed back right there. Wither comes out of Wild Turtle. He just fires back, putting damage onto Nintendude. His middle turret now going to go down. This could be the 3rd and final inhibitor that might go down on GGU's side. Turret is gone. Inhibitor now the focus, and that's going to be theirs as well.
Yeah, Don't Match Me definitely paid in the end there for his little game with Dyrus. They executed him and took 2 inhibitors off of that. We're back to another game. All 3 inhibitors down. This is a GGU team now with their backs against the wall. We'll see how they can fare. Maybe they'll pull off a miraculous comeback. A Baron steal would be a good start to that, but that would not be a finish to it. They would need even more on top of that. Dyrus, he's able to go 1 versus 1 with Zion. Can he 1 versus 2? Even if Jen is there, it looks like he can.
He takes Zion's Ignite.
Away.
Yeah, he does not quite land the Shock Blast there, so no follow-up damage, and Dyrus will run back. You know, just happily saying, great, I wasted 1 of your summoner spells. 3-minute cooldown on that, no big worry. But GG are actually getting some control over their own blue buff, which is nice. It's actually a bit of a change for them.
All right, so since we did confirm that Nintendo indeed has flashed this game instead of Ghost, the option for flashing over to steal Baron is there as well. He can combo that with Jinte. We've seen it before. He's gone over. He's had a miraculous Baron steal, and they were able to turn the game around off that. So never say die if you're GGU. You just have to have the rest of your team defending your base, because 3 inhibitors down means that there's going to be double super creeps spawning in all the lanes, and it's going to take every bit of manpower that you have to defend those.
Well, thankfully for them, they did get their bottom inhibitor finally respawned. You're seeing the super minion wave right there, those double super minions that are shoving in. They're getting stopped out, so thankfully for GGU, that tide will be stemmed a little bit, but of course still 2 inhibitors have been freshly taken out. And TSM, they just healed up and went right back to Baron right after that one. And here they go, clearing out the ward, and they begin the dance again.
Zion, or Nintendo here, he's getting into position, but Reggie knows what he's thinking, wants to head him off here. They back off of Baron for a little bit. Now they're moving in. This is all going to be just a desperate Baron still here. Can he pull this one off? It's going low so quickly.
It's down very, very low. Another ward comes down from Daydream, puts another one down as well. But there's Nintendo fighting up against Reginald. Reginald wants to solo him out. Daydream is showing up. There's the knockdown, the Sono ult as well. They jump in on this fight. Nintendo flashes over the wall. He wants to try to fight for this one, but he gets bursted down first. And now there's no smite steal available. Final Spark comes across. That will not land either. Odd One smites this one out. 1 kill for nothing. Baron picked up as well. Now Jinte, not in a good place, puts a shield down. He's going to fall over. Reginald finds the 2nd kill of the fight. They're jumping now onto Zion Spartan. That's going to be a beautiful Requiem triple kill. He picks up 3 kills now, Reginald. And now only Don't Mash Me is alive. Shenot comes across, joins the rest of TSM. They're going to push down the mid lane. TSM will secure themselves into the top 2.
Good job by TSM right there. They stopped the Baron. They fought over the wall, killing Nintendo, securing the Baron right there. Odd One has not missed a smite in a very, very, very long time.
Well, there we go. The Nexus falls. That is TSM in a wonderful place right now. GGU still need to find a win in their last game of the season to keep themselves in a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. They lose again, they might fall down to a tie.